He's not repping Inter Miami right now, though. He is repping Flamengo from
They got
Brazil,
a
man,
better
with the fresh
shot.
cut.
They got a better
Julian,
shot.
they definitely got a better shot to get out of the group, dude. 100%. But guys, we want to talk a little bit of Club World Cup. Talk about prediction. Julian and I are going to give our analysis, our breakdown for each group. We're going to go through it, talk about it. I'm excited. Julian's hype. We're looking at games. We've been talking about it. Hopefully, we're able to, and we're fortunate enough to be able to go to one or two and check them out. But Julian, overall thoughts, man, on this tournament? I know it starts this weekend, so we're coming to it.
Look, I know it's a controversial take, and a lot of people are up in it. It seems like mostly Eurocentric fans are just don't like this tournament. I understand there is a lot of like weirdness around this tournament, but at least the spirit of this tournament, I love. I love the idea that we can
Yeah.
finally get a true gauge of how the rest of the world competes with some of the top leagues in Europe or South America or Africa and Asia, North America. Like, I'm really excited to see this. I'm super intrigued. I would imagine like I'm really pumped to see how these Brazilian teams play against some of these top level European teams. Like, that's kind of the matchups I'm really pumped
Mm-hmm.
and excited to see. I'm curious to see like maybe some CONCACAF versus Asia matchups or like CONCACAF versus South America, things like that. I'm really pumped to see how all this shapes out. I think it's going to give a better gauge on everything. And like I said, the spirit of the tournament I
Yeah.
really like. Obviously, a lot of the inner workings, the behind the scenes is like a little like shady or whatever it might be. But with all that being said, like I said, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm ready for something different,
Yeah.
something truly different, never been done before. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. No, I agree with you, man. I agree. I think it's fun. I love the inner diversity in it. Like you said, dude, all these teams, kind of like an actual World Cup feeling, just with the club format instead. So, but yeah, man. Hey, let's get right into it. Let's dive into this, man. Group A, like we were talking about earlier, your boys Inter Miami. Also we have FC Porto, Palmeiras, and dude, Julian, for the 30th time, you're gonna have to help me pronounce this team. Al Ahali.
I don't speak Arabic, but from what I understand, it's Al Ali. Al Ali.
Al
I think it's
Ali.
pronounced
Al
very
Ali.
similar to the Saudi Arabian team,
Mm-hmm.
from what I understand.
Okay, that's the thing. I
Al
didn't want to
Ali. I think it's
mispronounce
Al
them
Ali. I think
and get
that's the better
fans.
word. That's Al Ali.
Al Ali. Okay, okay. I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to make an incorrect statement, get canceled in the comments or anything like that. So I appreciate it. But listen, man, yeah. Hey, four strong teams. Obviously, the African Champion Cup, the Supporter Shield winner, the Copa Libertadores winner from a few years back, and then one of Europe's, I guess you could say, one of Europe's kind of more top coefficient teams in FC Porto. Listen, dude, I'll give you real quick my breakdown. I've got to go. I'm gonna go off the bat. Palmeiras
Sure.
first, FC Porto second. I'm gonna be real, Julian. I hate to say it. Al Ali third, and Inter Miami fourth. I think this is gonna be tough pickings for you guys. Listen, it's gonna be a rough group. It does not seem that when Inter Miami has the moment, the stage, other than that Leagues Cup win that you guys had back in 2023 and Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba's opening season. Other than that, when the moment's tough, the moment's shining on you guys, I feel like he has collapsed, dude. Whether it's CONCACAF Champions Cup, MLS Cup games, MLS obviously league phase games as well. It gets to be a little bit overwhelming. I think this Club World Cup, there's already a lot of eyes. I think it's gonna be. This might be. I don't know if a hot take, but I think it's gonna be rough on Inter Miami. In regards with Al Ali, tough team. I think they're gonna be gritty. I think they bring a lot of decent side names in here. Mustafa, I want to say, or can't remember the last name. I'm thinking off the brain right now. The goalkeeper for Al Ali was a former Egyptian keeper at the national team level. Played a lot of Afcons with them. Got a lot of experience. This is a hardened group. This is an experienced group. I think they're well. I think they're well rounded. So I think this is a team that's going to make it difficult on the top two teams and might be able to sneak away 3 points from you guys in that opening game. Obviously, in regards to FC Porto, a little bit of an upset pick. Listen, obviously, I'm never wrong. I'm 100% right all the time when it comes to my prediction videos. So I'm not going to be wrong on this. I think Palmeiras, listen, man, Gustavo Gomez, Richard Rios, the wonder kid Estaviao, who's going to be leaving after this tournament, go to Brazil, not to Brazil, over to Chelsea, over in England. I think the Brazilian wonder kid has been doing already incredible. He's still only 17 years old. So this is big. This is big moment for them, and I think Palmeiras fan base are going to really be showing up and showing out in these games. Obviously, they're going to be playing Porto and Miami down in Miami. So I think that's just going to be a very pro Palmeiras crowd, and I think it'll be well. Porto, we'll see. I was a little bit shocked. Stefan Estaquiao, I'm surprised on that. I was assuming was going to be there with Porto. I guess not. I guess he's now going to the Gold Cup with Canada after their official drop release list for the Gold Cup roster. So, I mean, obviously Porto have a lot of other big names on the team. Samu, the Spaniard up top ahead, representing them. Diego Costa in the back and the net. So, and there's a lot of young Portuguese talents around the field, but I just think Porto, I think coming off of a rough kind of season, went trophyless. It's going to be interesting for them. How do you see this group phasing up?
I'm gonna say I actually agree with you entirely. I had even from the moment I saw this reaction, I think Palmeiras is going to win this game. Now, I will say a lot of people aren't talking about it, but I know the area. Palmeiras versus Porto in New Jersey is going to be crazy atmosphere. So I don't know how familiar you are, but like in that Newark, New Jersey area, there's a ton of not only
Mm-hmm.
Brazilians but Portuguese living in the same neighborhoods. Like if you get there's certain neighborhoods around there, and I know this because my dad used to live there. You it's they're like intertwined with one another. So I'm like that stadium's going to be crazy, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people packed in there. It's probably going to be more Brazilians than Portuguese, but like do not be
Yeah.
surprised by the amount of Portuguese fandom that's going to be there supporting Porto. So I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup just from an atmosphere perspective. But I do agree with you. And the reason why I'm picking Palmeiras too is I think they're going to have a home game in every single game. Maybe not the Miami one. That one's going to be close because you're going to have a lot of like secret agents for Inter Miami as Messi fans over there. So,
Oh
um,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. As
but it's
always.
still going to be really close because there's a lot of Brazilians not only in South Florida but also in Orlando that I'm sure are going to make their way down. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, man. Because of that, I have Palmeiras going first. I just think they're going to get up for this. Brazilians always get up for these tournaments. Porto, like you said, they're not coming off the strongest season. They've lost some pieces. I think they're going to perform well. I just think Palmeiras is going to have that edge, but I love the matchup. I think it's going to be really close. Maybe we're going to get a real gauge of
Yeah.
where the Portuguese league ranks to the Brazilian league.
Mm-hmm.
Second, obviously, I'll go to third
Yeah.
place. I'm giving all Ali the advantage because they've been there, they've done that, and from all accounts, they seem to be performing really well. I was
Right.
willing to give Inter Miami the benefit of the doubt coming into this season. Like I felt really good when the draw first
Mm.
hit, but it's just been such a downward spiral for so long. And then seeing the roster moves that have been made since the beginning of the season and the offseason
Yeah.
just making no sense. And this team just feels like a shell of itself of what it was last year, where they got the all-time point record for the regular season. If it was this team last year, I'd feel really good. I'd feel really good about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting an older Suarez.
Yeah.
You have no real striker. Like the defense is horrendous, horrendous. The goalkeeping situation is not good. I just don't think. I think they're going to get schooled. Like I said, I mean, obviously, if they can set the tone quick at home, they are going to have home field advantage in 2 games. So, well,
Yeah.
kind of home field advantage in the second one against Palmeiras, but
Yeah.
I just think they're really going to struggle. They're just not prepared for this tournament. Like I said, I think this tournament just came a year too late for them. So, with that being said, yeah, I'm right down the middle with you. Exactly
Yeah.
the same. So, let's move over to
Yeah.
Group B. This one's going to be really interesting. So, we have PSG, the reigning European
Mm-hmm.
champions, Atletico Madrid, coming off a really good season, almost won La Liga, but they kind of teetered off towards the end. Botafogo, the Copa Libertadores, reigning champs as we currently stands, and Seattle Sounders. Who do you got, Will?
Yeah. I'll keep it brief, man. Listen, in this order, in this pecking order, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a shakeup at top. Atletico Madrid first, PSG second, Botafogo
Interesting.
third, and Seattle Sounders last. Dude. I listen, fight Seattle, whatever that chant, whatever that guy was, the infamous fight and win Seattle. Listen, dude, it's going to be too much for these guys. I think these boys are going to get ran on the field. And I'm going to be real with you, Dylan. I don't even think in a football aspect it's going to even be. It's going to be bad in that aspect, but it's also just a physicality. I think the Brazilians are going to run them over. I think PSG is just going to be able to, Luis Enrique out basically Luis Enrique them, and then I think with Atletico Madrid, I think they're just going to have more just just more heart, more grit, and I think by that point it'll be done and tested. I think we said this earlier, dude, and I've said it earlier about Seattle in regards to them getting last place in our CONCACAF video. If you guys already haven't watched that, down below, subscribe to the channel, check us out. But listen, dude, Seattle just does not. They don't have. They're not a bad team, and they're doing solid. Obviously, this current MLS season, sitting at, if I'm not wrong, fifth place in the Western Conference. Decent. We've said MLS lifer guys and Jesus Pineda and Paul Arriola and the Roll Down brothers and Jordan Morris, the most infamous one, Jordan Morris. But dude, it's just not. What are these guys? How do I look at them and say, okay, bet you're going to get past William Bacho, or oh heck yeah, dude, hey, Jose Maria Roy Jimenez is not going to be able to withstand you. Like, you got him, dude. No, I just don't see these guys. I think they're going to get bodied. I really think they're going to get bodied on the field. I think home field advantage might help that first game slightly for them against Botafogo, at Lumen Stadium. But other than that, dude, I think it's going to be rough. In regards to Botafogo, listen, if we're talking maybe a year ago where PSG was kind of this teeter-tottering team, they qualified for Champions League, never did the best. Their league usually looks solid. And a Botafogo team, like you said, Julian, won a Copa Libertadores. Luis Enrique, who obviously now plays over in Russia for Zenit St. Petersburg. Another guy, Thiago Almada, who's over at Olympic Lyon now. Dude, this is a team that I would have easily said, be careful with them. But now it just kind of seems like they're, obviously they've kind of fallen off a little bit. They've fallen off a little bit as well in Serie A play over in Brazil. So, and they don't have that fire strong attack still. And if I'm not wrong, I was even looking at it. A couple reports were coming out earlier today and this week that Igor Jesus, their center 9 striker, is being linked to a multitude variety of clubs in Europe.
Mhm.
And this move could potentially happen before the Club World Cup. Listen, dude, you've already lost Luis Enrique, Thiago Almada, Igor Jesus on top of that. That's just going to be rough. Atletico Madrid, PSG, I think it's kind of already self-explanatory. I think our people watching, the viewers already know, you as well, you and myself. These are 2 top teams in Europe right now, some of the best. Obviously, in regards to PSG, this is probably the top team in the world at this moment. That starting 11 is, I would say, at every single position that they play, if not player at the moment, second or third. Afkram Hakimi, William Pacho, Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes. We saw what he did this weekend against Lamine Yamal, man. And that's just the defense. Obviously, up top, Donu, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Bradley Barcola on the bench, which is absolutely ridiculous to say. So,
And
yeah,
what's crazy? They're still missing a striker, which is wild to say that they're probably.
They play Dembele at that center 9 role, which is incredible. And what's insane, dude? Goncalo Ramos is on the bench. Realistically,
I haven't been
this
impressed
guy,
with him
I would
personally.
not the most impressive, but he's clinical. When he gets on the field, he does his job. He does it well. Obviously, he doesn't perform at that incredible level. That's the thing. When he gets on the field, he's obviously not, but this isn't Jordan Morris. You know what I mean? This is a Portuguese national player. So we'll see. But Julian, what are your overall thoughts?
Dude, I'm right along with you. I think just like with Inter Miami, this is coming at the wrong time for Botafogo. Like you said, they had a lot of outgoing players. They made good business. They were like extremely dominant coming out of the tournament out of last year. Obviously, we saw the lose to Pachuca in the Interconfederations Cup, I think it's called. Like, man, I was riding high with them. But then, and I like I said, even a year ago, I could have said, man, they could upset Atletico. But Atletico is also a team that towards the end of the season, especially in the middle of the season, they've really started to heat up. Julian Alvarez is playing like a man possessed. Like, I thought he was. I'll admit I'm gonna be the first person to say I was wrong about him. I thought he was not. He was a tad overrated, but this guy has lived up to all potential since he's moved over to Atletico. That system just fits him. I do worry about Atletico's defensively, especially when they go against PSG. So because of that, I'm gonna go PSG number 1, Atletico, Botafogo, and Seattle. Man, it's awesome to see you guys here. You guys are gonna have a home game every single game, so that's cool. You're not traveling at all, so you have a little advantage there. And most likely, you're not gonna see a ton of away fans. So look, they could sneak a result away from Botafogo. It's possible. I think they can. They seem to be playing a little better now into the season as they move along. They are pretty healthy for the most part. Like I said, they could sneak a result against Botafogo. It's possible. If Pachuca can, I don't see why they can't. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to have them go fourth. Sadly, I think it's just going to be a little too much for them. But anyways, let's
Yeah.
move on to the next one. And this one's a little interesting. So we have Bayern Munich, Auckland City, Boca Juniors, and Benfica.
Yeah. Yeah. Group C's an interesting toss up, dude. Listen, give me first place Auckland City. I think dude,
Easily.
absolutely not. Heck no. Easy remarks, dude. Listen, they got a brown boy on that team. That boy can cook, man. I forgot his name, but Auckland City, man. Hey, he's one of us, man. He's one of
What kind
our
of
fellow
brown boy?
brothers. So shout out. He is, if I'm not wrong, Pakistanian. I
Okay.
believe. So he's not a Spanish speaker, brown boy, but he's one of our kind still. He's one of our guys, man. But dude,
I thought you were
shout
gonna
out
say
to
he was
him,
like
brother. Hopefully,
a
goats
Maori kid, like a native boy. That's what I was,
a Maori.
yeah,
Oh
that's like the
gosh,
natives
no,
of
no.
New Zealand. That's what I thought you were getting at, but never mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, dude, listen, honestly, in regards to Auckland City, all due respect, shout out to these guys. Big shout out because I might be potentially watching them play Benfica, which would be an incredible game. Hopefully, I'll be able to go with my mom. Will be able to go check that out. We'll watch that game, dude, here in Orlando. But yeah, other than that, man, listen, regards, safe travels to these guys, and I hope they enjoy the States, man, because that's all they're going to really be doing while they're here, man. I hate to say it, but fourth place for them. Now, with third, dude, as much as this pains me and it really hurts me, man, I love these guys, and the blue and the yellow looks absolutely stunning on them, and Cavani's playing, you know, okay. He's not playing the best. He's not playing great, but they have a young kid, Kevin Zenon, is Boca. I have to go third place for Boca Junior, man. I think the talent gap between them and Bayern is humongous, and even Benfica as well, man. I mean, listen, dude, that's a Benfica team with Pavlidis, obviously Otamendi in the back,
They are
Zico
losing Di
Moody, the
Maria.
Swiss international. Di Maria's gone. He's already gone to Rosario Central. He's made the move, so he won't play this Club World Cup. But still, regardless, dude, even without Di Maria, there's another kid, Antonio Silva, a Portuguese, and then there's another young Portuguese who's being linked with Real Madrid. The name is escaping my mind right now, but I mean, he's another talent. If he doesn't make the move before, if he's able to play with Benfica, I think they're just going to look good, dude. This is a team that's looked solid all season. If I'm not wrong, I can't remember, dude, if they won their international, not international, but their domestic cup. I know they did not win the league, but regardless, dude, this is still a tough Benfica team, and always makes it difficult. Pavlidis, dude, clinical striker up top for them. So I just think they're going to round up second. Bayern Munich, enough's been said, dude. Obviously, we know the names on them. Harry Kane is going to be leading the charge of this tribe for a Club World Cup. I think, honestly, dude, and we'll break it down more. We'll have more videos coming out about it whenever the group stage comes to a wrap and we get the knockouts. But I think this is a contender, dude. I think Bayern Munich is a very, very strong contender. I think the only trophy, and you're not saying it was a disappointing season for Bayern, but in regards, only one, the Bundesliga, obviously did not win their domestic trophy or the cup, and they obviously got knocked out by Inter Milan in the quarterfinals. So, I don't want to say that Bayern Munich's got blood on their hands and they're ready to come in here fighting, but they just kind of seem like a team that's got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to come in here sparring, dude. So they want to get out of this group, and I think they're gonna fly by it, man. So, but that's what I've got: Bayern first, Benfica second, Boca Juniors in third, Auckland City in fourth. How about you?
I hate to agree with you again, but I do. I think Bayern's just going to absolutely. I'll
Uh,
be honest. I think they're going to obliterate this group. I mean, we already saw how they
yeah,
performed against
yeah,
Benfica in the Champions League, and they struggled immensely. Benfica struggled immensely against Bayern. They are going to be out with Alfonso Davies, obviously because of injury. But is Musiala going to be back? Like, or is he back and
I
healthy? I
saw
haven't been
reports
keeping up with.
potentially.
Um,
I believe he
e-
is here in the States, but we'll have to see.
Either way, I think they're going to run this group. Now,
Yeah, I
second
was gonna say.
place, I'm kind of with you with Benfica, mostly because even though they have missing
Mhm.
pieces, they are kind of for the most part running it back with a lot of their squad. Boca
Yeah,
is just not as strong as they were a couple years ago when they went to that semifinal to the Libertadores. So I'm not super high on
yeah,
Boca right now. So because of that, I'm going to go Benfica second, then Boca. Auckland City, they're an interesting one. So I don't know if you know about this or the viewers. So Auckland
Mm-hmm.
City is owned by the same ownership as Auckland FC. So if you don't know what I'm talking
Who
about,
plays in the A League?
Auckland City plays for the New Zealand the New Zealand League, which is a part of the Oceania region. But there's also two
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand teams that play in the Australian A League, and that is Auckland FC.
Mm-hmm.
Auckland FC is actually on top of the group. They're in first place, dominating the league in the A League, which is kind of funny that a New Zealand team is dominating the Australian League. But
Mm-hmm.
because they're the same ownership, and I think the ownership has teams in Europe, from what I recall, they're allowing them, similar to what we might see in CONCACAF, uh, they're allowing them to kind of transfer players from that Auckland FC team, which is a stronger team because the New Zealand League, I believe, is an amateur league technically. It's not a professional league. So they're
Mm.
basically going to be mix matching the two clubs together because they both represent
Yeah.
Auckland and it's the same ownership.
Yeah.
Even with that being said, I still don't think they're going to be good enough. Look, there is levels to it. I mean, granted, they've been
Yeah.
dominating their region, but there's levels to it. I'm excited. Look, I would love to see them compete. Maybe give Boca Juniors a run for their money. That'd be awesome to see. But the fact that we're seeing the matchup is cool.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it's just going to be a little not enough. It's not going to be enough. But let's
Yeah.
move on to the
Yeah.
next group. We got Group D, where we have Flamengo, Esperance de Tunis, Chelsea, and LAFC.
Black and gold. LA Black and Gold. Listen, man. Honestly, dude, I think this is. I'm gonna be real. This is probably one of the most exciting groups going into this Club World Cup. It's fun. It's exciting. Got strong attacks. Got solid rosters all around. All of these teams, dude. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'll be real with you. I don't think anybody's gonna get blown out. I've already seen a lot of people say Chelsea's got this in the bag. It's wrapped up. Game over. I do agree. I think Chelsea will get first, but I don't think it's going to be just this blow over. Nothing's going to happen. I think Flamengo is going to put up a good fight, man.
I
I
think
think
they're
that
going
is
to
going to be
push them to the
interesting.
limit. I think they're really going to
I,
push them
I
to the
think they're going to
limit.
push them. I think Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are going to learn, and they're going to find out who Acarasqueta is and Nicolas de la Cruz. I think they're going to get into this game, and they're going to see what these guys are about. They're going to see what the Comne Bowl, the grit. Listen, Europeans love to laugh all the time about it. They love to make jokes. They like to say these, kind of sly comments about, how the game over here in the Americas, including CONCACAF, of course, CONCACAF, and Comne Bowl is just fraudulent. It's weak. There's no style. Listen, dude, they're going to get A1. They're going to get a first class experience, dude. I'm talking about you're sitting on the flight and you feel every ounce of turbulence, dude. That's what Chelsea's about to go through right now. I agree. With all that being said, I still think they're going to top the group. I think point differential, whether they're able to squeak it out against Flamengo, whatever it is, I think they're going to be able to do it. Like you said, dude, I know, Julie, you can break it down a lot more, but Gerson, Acarasqueta, obviously Petro, who just came back from an injury. He's an international national team player as well with Brazil. Um, you know, Flamengo's got a lot of pieces on this team that they can utilize. So obviously Chelsea first, Flamengo second. Esperance de Tunis, team that qualified in here as, I want to say, if I'm not wrong, the only African coefficient team. They did not win
I thought there was no
CAF
African
Champions League.
coefficient team. I don't think there
I
was
believe there was
African.
only one.
I think they only
We
have
can
4
double check that in a
players,
second.
and then I think they only have 4 teams, and it was all just winners, from what I understand. I can
I'll
see.
double check that in a
I got
second.
it. But keep on going. I'll
Yeah,
look at. I got the
but
Wikipedia.
basically, dude, you got it there.
No,
But
just
yeah,
keep on going. I'll
yeah,
find
dude.
it.
Listen, I think, but yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. And you were right. It was a ranking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hop off my dick, Julian. Yeah, I'm right. I know that. Now I'm playing. But yeah, anyways, guys, listen, dude, I think honestly, this is Esperance Tunis, not the most well-known team, not the most team that most people would say they know and they're most familiar with, but I think this is a team that can make it interesting. I think with LAFC as well. Listen, I'll be honest, dude. I think LAFC going mid-season while the rest of these teams are kind of, other than Flamengo, are kind of wrapping up their seasons and whatnot. I think it's going to kind of catch them at a wrong moment. Obviously, LAFC are still hot coming off that Club America win, but it just seems like Olivier Giroud has not been that guy yet. Obviously you're not getting the most out of Jeremy Obuisse. I don't really rate him that high anyways. Nathan Ordas has kind of taken a dip down in form. David Martinez as well. And obviously Denny Bawanga has been doing incredible, but
He's
you're
been
going to need a
carrying
lot
that
more than
team.
Denny Bawanga. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to need a lot more than Denny Bawanga against like a Chelsea, or even Flamengo. I mean, even Esperance, dude. You're going to need more guys to be able to pitch into the harvest, and donate more. So, but yeah, those are my final. I've got to go Chelsea first, Flamengo second, LAFC third, and Esperance de Tunis fourth.
All right, I agree with you. I believe Chelsea is just going to be a little too much for Flamengo, but I will say this: I think this is complete. This is my hot take. Flamengo get a result, and not because I'm wearing a jersey. Like I root for them. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a fan of Flamengo. I like their colors. I like the jersey. I follow them a little bit. I'm not by any means a diehard fan, so you can't say I have the bias. But Flamengo is coming off super hot right now. They've only allowed 4 goals in 11 games in the Brazilian Serie A. Like, they are on fire. They're top of the table. They're playing really well. Like you said, they're in season right now. So they have the momentum on their side. They're going to have the fandom on their side. Well, against Chelsea might be kind of tough, but where's that game being played?
But those are secret agents, though. That's gonna.
They're
If I'm
secret
not
agents.
wrong, I forgot. That's what I'm saying. That they're secret agents, dude. Like
they're
they
going to
are
be playing.
not.
They're going to be playing in Philly, so that can go either way. I guess with fandom.
That's secret agent 101, dude. Yeah.
So
come on now.
But with all that being said, I think they pull off a result. I still think Chelsea tops the group because I also believe Flamengo and LAFC games probably going to thump. I think that's going to go pretty hard. I think that's going to be a really fun one to watch.
That'll be good.
But I'm going to have Esperance Tunis in third, LAFC last, because outside of the last few games and obviously the big game against Club America, I don't trust them still. Like, I'm still, like, I've watched LAFC play. They just have so many holes on that team and honestly, I think most people in this case just don't rate Steve Cherundolo. I just don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know much about this Tunis team, but considering that at the level they play at against some of these top teams in Africa, and I think a lot of people in CONCACAF overlook these top teams in Africa because these top teams in Africa, they're good, man. They're really good, and they're used to games like this. They're used to international competitions. And LAFC, in the past few years, it seems like, especially in finals, they tend to choke these games. Obviously, they got it done with Club America in a one-off, but that, it's kind of weird. Like, maybe Club America is focusing on the final, but I'd imagine they want to get in the Club World Cup, so it's kind of hard to tell there with the schedule congestion that they had. But I don't trust the coaching from LAFC side. I don't trust them as a team. I think they got a lot of holes. Would it be cool to see them get into third? Either way, I think they're going to be competitive though, for sure, and they might be the most competitive out of the 3 MLS teams. I think they have the best chance, in my opinion, to get a win. I'm not even going to say get out of the group because I don't think either 3 of them have even a remote chance of getting out the group. But I think due to their momentum at the moment and the group, they have the best chance to win at the moment. I think if you look at that Inter Miami group, all Ali are just going to be too strong for them. I think they're just going to be too good for them. From what I've seen from them in the past and previous tournaments, I think they're just a better team. Versus Esperance is going to be a little bit of a weaker team. So the LA has a good chance of like being really competitive in that sense. That game might be dead. I'm looking at it now. It's going to be played in Nashville. So like, I don't know who's going to that game.
I have no idea.
But would I love to see LAFC win? Yeah, dude, I love to see it. I don't expect it. I wish they do, but I'm rooting for them. But anyways, let's move to the next one. And this is the group I love. I love this group, Will. I love it. I almost wore their jerseys today. But we got Group E, River Plate, Urawa. I probably butchered the hell out of that. Red Diamond. I'm just calling them Red Diamonds. Monterrey and Inter Milan. Give me your thoughts.
Good group, dude. Right off the ripski, man. Listen, we're gonna keep it fast. Inter Milan first. Gonna break a lot of fans' hearts. Could not care. I could care less. Give me River Plate second. Third, Monterrey. You know what? No, actually, screw it. Screw it. Monterrey last. Give me Urwa Red Diamonds, man. Quit hating on Urwa. Listen, these guys, people are hating on them. Put some respect on these guys. Obviously, in the J1 league, they're not looking so hot. Not really the best team. Last season, they did finish mid-table. So, you know, not crazy, but dude, I think Monterrey has so many other problems they have to worry about themselves, man. Listen, they've got a lot. I think honestly, people are talking about that, and it will be hyped. It will be a crazy atmosphere in Pasadena, California, between Monterrey and River Plate. But listen, dude, Franco
There's gonna be
Mascuanto,
fights, dude.
there's going to be fights between the players, between the coaches, between the fans. It's going to be insane. Throw a little bit of alcohol in there. It's already in California, dude. We've already been seeing what's going on right now in Los Angeles. Go down the road to Pasadena, California. You're going to be getting some absolutely crazy scenes. I agree with you, man. Listen, but I think River Plate has what it takes to be able to get it. I think this is a team that's coming in very, very hot. Obviously, Copa Libertadores, they're just going to be starting, if I'm not wrong, at the end of this summer, the round of 16 play. But, dude, in their group phase, they look strong. This is a team that made it last year into the semifinals. They've done well in the Apertura here or so far in Argentina. Last season as well with Clausura combined. So this is a team, and I mean, the names, the list goes on. Obviously, Sebastian Drusi, the Austin FC man from last season plays on there. Franco Masicuano, like we've already said, the 17-year-old wonder kid. Looking at it, Franco Armani, Gonzalo Montiel, Huevito Acuna, Lucas Martes Cuarta in the back, the center back role. So I think this is just a team with experience, with young players, with versatile players, with attacking, with just a little bit of everything. They've got flair to this team. So give me them in second. Inter Milan, enough said about them. I think they're going to have a lot of hunger coming into this game, dude. They're still obviously very, very fresh on their minds what happened in Champions League. I think a lot of these guys, and especially with Italy, a little bit of a side curse note. A lot of the Italian players, Bastoni, that's on this team, Barella, I don't know if you did see, Julian, got upset by Norway 3-0. So I think this is an Inter Milan team. Not only the Inter Milan players, but the Italian players on this team they're going to have a little bit of a chip on their
Italy's
shoulder.
A shit show right now.
It is. It's rough, but these guys got a chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to be hungry, man. So yeah, give me Inter Milan first, River Plate second, Urwa Red Diamonds third, and Monterrey fourth.
Ooh, interesting. All right, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was thinking that. I was thinking that because there's a real world where Monterrey could be second, but then they could also be last. Like I genuinely believe that. So obviously Milan's going to dominate. I don't think it's going to be close. River maybe might give them a push, but there's so much talent on this Inter team, at least in comparative to them. The River, I'm so pumped for the River Monterrey game. I think that's going to be really good. Now, the one thing to note with Monterrey is that they are going to be basically playing at home. I mean, they're going to be at Pasadena. They're playing at the Rose Bowl all 3 games. So they're going to be They're going to be playing at home, essentially. And the thing with Monterrey, yes, they haven't played well. They looked poor in the why am I drawing a blank? Champions Cup. They lost to Vancouver in a way that they shouldn't have. They were not playing at home, so there was that, but they were leading Vancouver at the time before Vancouver came back and beat them. You have the likes of Sergio Canales and obviously like Sergio Ramos and all this other. But I just don't. A part of me thinks that Monterrey is just going to get up for a game like this. Like I feel like you have guys like Ramos and Canales, like guys who knows what it's like to play against players like this, and they're just going to get up. But I just don't know which Monterrey I'm going to get because I do believe they're a better team than what their standing was. I don't know if you feel that way. Yeah. Like I think they have the possibility to be really competitive. It's a team that you can really never overlook. Yeah, and it's a team you can never really overlook. And they might make. It might be too late now, but I know there was talks of them making more moves to the team within Liga MX with the loans and stuff. But it seems like none of that really came into fruition for any team except for maybe Auckland City. But River also just looks really good right now. They look really tough to beat. So I'm gonna go River in second. Now third place, I see the argument that you can make with the Red Diamonds. I think people are going to overlook them They're going to overlook the J
That's
League.
on a bad night.
These
Mm-hmm.
teams are good. This is an Auckland City. These J League teams are pretty damn solid. They're really good.
Yeah.
It's just people don't watch them. Time difference, it's a different culture. Like people don't necessarily. It's not as a historic league as some of these other ones. But these are solid teams.
Yeah.
These are really good teams that are fundamentally very, very sound, and I think knows how to win games. They didn't get here for no reason. Monterrey could get overlooked, but since you picked them fourth, I'm gonna go Monterrey third. I do think I like their experience in moments like this. Granted, like when you were like, there's just certain clubs that you play for, and I think there's a lot of like passion behind that. Where look, we're Monterrey, we're not gonna give, and I think because of that, they're gonna kind of push out and be third, and possibly pretend for third. But like I said, there's a range. I think they can go second to fourth. I think it's possible. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. We have Fluminense, Borussia Dortmund, Ulsan HD, and I'm not even going to attempt to say the first word, Sundowns.
Mamelodi Sundowns, baby.
Mamelodi,
come on now, man.
Sundowns.
Mamelodi, man. Listen, dude, if people know African ball and they watched AFCON, dude, you're going to know Mamelodi's goalkeeper, and Ronan Williams. Julian, this guy is a beast. Got nominated last year, obviously didn't win. Went to Adeola Lookman from Nigeria. But he got nominated as African Player of the Year, whether that was his absolute heroics that he did with AFCON, or it's just the throw that this guy has. He's got some of the nicest hair I've ever seen. Dude, he's up there with Coco Kataski. But listen, dude, when I first saw this group, it was like, bro, like what, like you said, Sundowns sounds like a gas station. Ulsan HD, it's like trying to turn my channel from, it sounds like, Ulsan, like I'm trying to turn my channel from a normal channel to a HD channel, like what am I watching? But dude, if you really dive deep into these teams, like I told you, dude, Ronan Williams on Mamelodi. I don't know if this name is going to sound super familiar to you, but Allende is a Chilean national. He's got a few call-ups. He's not a frequent guy that gets called up to the team. Plays out there in South Africa with Mamelodi. So this is no bum team, dude. They're in the FIFA Club World Cup, so obviously they're not a bum team. Nobody here is bum FC. All these teams have earned and deserved their way into this tournament. Ulsan as well. I'm not as familiar or don't know quite as many of the players more with Ulsan or too much with their game. Obviously, in the K League, they've done well. If I am not incorrect, I don't know if you can double check. I really don't know on this one. I don't know if they were a coefficient team that qualified or if they were an Asian Cup champion. I believe they were a coefficient, not 100%.
So I think Asia was like us. Africa was weird because Africa only had 2 champions in there, and I think it was because they went back to back. I think Ali went back to back, and so did I'm trying to blank on the other team, but let me see. Wydad. Red Diamonds were the AFC Champions League winner in 2022. So
no, what about Ulsan?
Ulsan. Wait, that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Wait. No, you're right. Best ranked team out of the 4-year ranking. Yes, it was Ulsan HD. The two U's messed me up.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, because the Qatari team went back to back. So that's why.
You mean
UAE? My bad. Yeah, UAE.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. That one went. They went back to back in 23 and 24, so that's why they did the best rank.
Regardless about Ulsan, they're getting last in my group. However, they finished coefficient champion, whatever they did. I just think it's going to be a tough group for them. Shout out as well to them and Mamelodi. Potentially might be going to that game in Orlando, so that would be exciting. Be kind of fun to be able to check them out.
Is that the only game at Inter Coast Stadium? I'm pretty sure that's like
no. There's a couple. No. We got a couple. We got 3. Benfica's there. If I'm not, there's a couple in Orlando in general. Orlando. I think we're hosting about 4 or 5.
Yeah, because
so we'll see.
Some at Camping World Stadium. All right, it's just 2 games at Orlando City. It's the Benfica one and then this one. Interesting.
Yeah, but dude, I got Mamelodi. Well, I was going to say real quick, Mamelodi, I think is going to surprise people, Julian. I think they're going to shock. I think Ronan Williams is going to be massive. Listen, I'm going to go with the very, very big pick. Borussia Dortmund, good team, fun team, exciting. I'll take all the hate in the comments. I don't have to explain myself. I just think Borussia Dortmund's had a kind of disappointing season. I think they've just looked kind of rough. Obviously, at the later half, they were able to pull it off. But I think, and I have that feeling, and I actually, not even a feeling, I know I'm right because I'm never wrong on my predictions. 100% correct all the time I predict. Mamelodi's going to get first, Dortmund second, and
Whoa.
Fluminense third.
Interesting. Okay. Um, yeah, that's not happening. But that's definitely not happening. But I will say this. I'm gonna go Fluminense, Dortmund, Mamelodi, and Ulsan.
Fluminense. Okay.
I gotta pick an upset here. I think a European team gets second here. I think Dortmund, like you said, had one of the worst seasons they've had in a long time. They had a good Champions League run, but got plagued with injuries. This Dortmund team, by all accounts, they should win the group. But I just have this feeling that Fluminense is going to get a result against them. I really like them. That game's going to be played in Jersey, it looks like. Right off rip, it's going to be the first game. I think Borussia Dortmund's going to get caught, man. I think they're going to get caught. I have a feeling they're going to overlook them. That's going to be my first like big upset in terms of first place. Obviously, you had Mamelodi, but I don't see that happening. But I'm going Fluminense first, Dortmund second, Mamelodi Sundowns third, Ulsan ICD fourth. Let's go to Group G. We have Manchester City, Wydad AC, Al Ain. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, guys.
Al Ain.
All the Arabic folks out there, just let us know how you pronounce it. And then Juventus.
Yeah.
I'll go real quick. I'm gonna go City. I think City is getting a lot better. They're getting healthier. Rodri's back. They're gonna look good. Yeah. I think they're gonna be right back into form of what we saw a couple years ago. They're gonna be really dangerous. They're gonna be scary. I think this is their time to like finally like bounce back and show who's boss again. Juve. This Juve team's weak, man. I'm just not super high in this Juve team. Yeah, they got in a Champions League positioning this year. I think there's a lot of like question marks. I don't know really what to expect from them. Vlahovic is potentially going to Milan, it seems like. So I don't know. I'm just not super high in this Juve team. This is like one of the worst Juve teams I've seen in a very long time. I've just not been super high on them. I can't imagine a world where they beat Manchester City. So I'm going Juve there. But I do think Juve does have enough quality and class to be above of a Wydad. So I'm going Juve, Wydad, and then Al Ain. Because look, man, Wydad, they're a dangerous team. It's just like Al Ain. Look, man, you won 2 Champions Leagues in 4 years. You deserve to be your competitive team, and they might pull a result against Juve. I think it could be potentially possible. But I think in the grand scheme of things, and we look at goal differential and stuff like that, Juve just might be a little bit more clinical. But it might come down, because Wydad, there's a real possibility they can get absolutely obliterated by City. And if that's the case, goal differential is not going to be on your side versus Juve. I mean, they're used to playing against teams like City, so I you know what I mean? So I'm going with that. That's my rationale on my rankings there.
I'm going to be real with you, dude. This group reminds me a lot, and I don't even know why, but it just reminds me of like kind of like the two powerhouses. And then you have 2 underdog teams, obviously, or kind of the lower teams that people would, highly less expect to get out of the group. It reminds me a lot of Group B from the 2018 World Cup. Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and Iran. Now, at the time, Morocco was obviously Hakimi was there, not Ziyech, Buffal was much younger. They had a lot of decent, solid players. Trying to remember, there was a couple other guys on that team. Iran was another solid team. Had a couple of good players. Had a very, very strong goalkeeper. Obviously, Jakambash. If I'm not even pronouncing that right, I don't know. I'm not too sure. If you're Iranian, let us know in the comments how to pronounce that. But listen, I just think it reminds me a lot of this kind of that style of group. Wydad and, like you said, Al Ain are 2 strong teams. These are two workhorse teams, dude. They're not going to give up. They're going to fight. They've obviously shown it in their domestic leagues. I think Wydad, the fan base, listen, man, I don't know if you have the time and chance yet, Julian, but dude, check it out on YouTube, man. These guys, their fan base. I've seen a couple clips here and there, not many. They're fans, they're ultras. They're something else, man. These guys are electric. They're incredible. Obviously, stating all that, I don't know if they're even going to be here in the States. Not sure. Regardless, I'm not in the YDAD circle, so I'm not 100% sure if they're going to be making the travels over here. If they are, awesome. That's incredible. Love to see that. Love to see that atmosphere. I think that'll really push the team if they are here. I think that'll help them out. Will it push them enough to get a second place if they are? No, that's not going to happen. I agree with you, dude. Listen, I was very, very bullish on this team only because months ago, and Juve still hasn't impressed me as much, but I've come a little bit more with reality and realized that it's a tough task. Now, if Wydad do it, awesome. I want to see it. I would love to see it. I do. I am rooting for these guys. I'm not even going to lie. Man City, though, obviously first, and Al Ain will get last. So, like you said, dude, last group, though, wrapping it up here. Pachuca, Real Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg. Still don't know how Salzburg got into this tournament. And also, coefficient, which I don't even want to. That blows my mind.
Two-country limit. The two-country limit. Every other team ahead of them already had 2 countries in them.
Which the only thing about that, Julian, Brazil's sending 4 teams. But
I think Brazil, they won all 4 years.
They
can't go on coefficient on that sense. You can only have 2 teams maximum if they go on coefficient. The only way you can have more than 2 teams is if they won multiple championships. Because I think England, you have City, Chelsea, and
that's it.
Is it just City and Chelsea? Oh man, you're right.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought there was a third for some reason.
Liverpool. It looks weird. It looks interesting. Hey, final team, Al Hilal as well. Real quick, dude, I'll be real. I think this is Real Madrid's group. I think they're hungry like a couple other teams in this Club World Cup. I think they're going to be feisty. Real Madrid's going to take first. I think they're going to be ready. We'll see with some of their summer signings. Obviously, we already know they've got Hoyston, the young Spaniard, his last name is Dutch. He's Spanish, but he talks like a British guy. So interesting combo, dude. But I think Dean's had an incredible season over at Bournemouth, man. All the best to him at Real Madrid. We'll see how he plays. But yeah, I think they're going to take first. This one might be a little bit of a. I don't want to say too much of a shocker, but if you look at the roster, man, I mean they're very deep, going all the way back with Bonu, Milienko Savic, Mitrovic, Ruben Neves, I'm not João Neves as well. I mean, dude, this is a good team, man. Really, really good team. Al Hilal, I think they're going to take second. Obviously, no Neymar going into this one, but I don't think that's going to hurt him. I think he would have been injured regardless, So we will see. We will see. But
Jorge Jesus, is he leaving as coach?
That is still, after the reports that I saw earlier this week, it's still up for debate. I think he is going to stay. I think because, probably you had already knew Julian. We knew a little bit. Him and Neymar had a little bit of, I don't want to say a beef, but they kind of had problems. And there was some beef. Yeah, I'll say it. There was beef. They had a little bit of issues, obviously, playing time and things like that. So I think no Neymar there. I think he's going to keep his job. I think he's still going to be there. So I think they're going to ride into second. I think they will have a good fan base. Out of all the Asian teams there, I think Al Hilal will have some solid traveling supporters.
You're probably going to have a lot of secret agents out there.
You're going to have a lot of double agent 07 guys, but I just genuinely think you're going to have a lot of Amazon t-shirt merchants, dude, who are going to buy shirts the week of the game or the day of the game. Shirt arrives in, pull up to the stadium. Hey, all of a sudden they're a Milienko Savage fan. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Pachuca's going to get third. I think Almeida's not even there. It is Mr. Jimmy Lozano. I think he's still trying to figure out the pieces with this team. I think Elias Montiel will look good for them, the young Mexican international, but I just don't think it'll be enough to crack getting into the round of 16. And then Red Bull Salzburg, man, I think this is going to be rough for them. I don't think it's going to be horrible. I don't think it's going to be like Seattle Sounders bad or like an Auckland City type beat, but I think it's just not going to – the boat's not going to float for them. I don't think it's going to go in their favor.
Obviously, we see Salzburg all the time play in Champions League, but I feel like seeing how Salzburg performs in this tournament will give you a really good idea of where you would see like these teams from other regions, how they would compete in Champions League. I feel like it gives a good idea. I'm gonna go Madrid first. Obviously, I mean it's Real Madrid. Like, I mean, who are you kidding? There's not much to say. I might shock you here.
Okay.
I'm going to go Pachuca second. And I'm going Pachuca second. And I said in a previous video, I like their experience, man. They just did this tournament. They just went up against the Botafogo. They just went up against the Real Madrid and looked solid. Granted, and mind you, everybody's like, oh, well, this team didn't look good in Liga MX. You know, they didn't look good Liga MX going into that tournament earlier in February either. They looked kind of whatever. No one expected them to compete at the level that they did. But for whatever reason, whatever it might be, maybe they just had the right shot of mezcal right before they got onto the field. They got up both games. Like there was they had like a solid 30 minutes against Madrid, which coming from a team like Pachuca and against a team like Madrid, that is extremely impressive. And to not only beat Botafogo, but they beat them like they outplayed them. Like they were the better team, which is crazy to think about. So I just have this feeling for whatever reason, they're going to get up for this. They're going to do it. They're going to get up for this game. They have that experience. The jitters are already out. They're like, you know what? Fuck the season. Liga MX playoff. Fuck it. We're going full force preparing for this Club World Cup. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not in the locker room. But I just have this feeling. Maybe the league, maybe the season and the way the season ended for them just left a bad taste in their mouth. And they're like, you know what, man? We just played these boys 4 months ago.
Right.
We're not scared. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And because of that, man, and Ali, gosh, I'm so bad at this. Yes, they have the names. But what have those names done? I mean, they've been there for a couple years now. And even before that, they're another year older. And mind you, at the time when they were leaving Europe, they were already on the back end of their career. Obviously, no European teams wanted them at the time. I have a hard time rating the Saudi League because, yes, these top teams are great, but the bottom is really, really low. Like, really low. Like, the disparity between the top of the league and the bottom league is massive. And I don't know how much I can take into effect. Like, take that into, like, my rationale and why I believe they could be good. It's hard to really gauge that. And I just think while Pachuca's also has some older players, guys like Rondon and whoever it might be, they still got a lot of young guys on that team that want to prove themselves. And I think they might catch Ali. I think Ali, yes, they have the experience. Yes, they have the veterans of who they might be. But Pachuca, like I said, they're already used to playing at this higher level now. When was the last time we seen a Saudi team play outside of Asia? Like, it's been a long time. So I think they might be in for a rude awakening. So with that being said, I got them third, and then I have Salzburg fourth, which is crazy to think this the first European team to be that everybody's probably predicting to be last place. But for all we know, they might compete as well. They might push over. They could. It is not out of the realm of possibility they can get second.
Yeah,
they're
going to compete
because if anybody's used against playing against some of the best teams in the world, it's them. They probably have the most experience every single year in and year out there in Champions League. So if anybody knows how to potentially win these games, knockout games, it would be them. Granted, they haven't really made it far, but yeah. But that's my order. It's a little bit open. I think second place can go to anybody. I think a lot of people want to point at Ahly because of the names and the people they have, but I think it's a little bit more. It's closer than what you might expect. But yeah, that's the final group. It was a long one. We got through them all, but I'm really excited for the Club World Cup. Those are our final predictions. We're going to be talking about them as the tournament goes on. Maybe do a couple live streams here or there. Stay tuned for that. If you want to see some of those, please make sure to like and subscribe to the content. And also, if you're interested in CONCACAF and the Gold Cup that's happening this summer, we're going to be doing a lot of content around that as well. Most likely, primarily, we're going to be doing that. So if you're interested in stuff like that,